watch list, and this kid might also be in the watch list. Rold Mitchell, what an outstanding sophomore year he's had.
Yeah, and it's funny because you look at this Wake team and it's just so talented top to bottom. There's a reason why they're number one, but there's no standout star, and so they kind of eat the spotlight from each other because there's nobody that stands out on this talented Wake team. Everybody contributes at a top level.
Periano, number 10 right there. He'll stand out. This guy can distribute really well. He'll be involved. I have his fingerprints all over this match. We are underway. Last time Duke faced a number one foe on the road was right here at Spry in 2018. Of course, that was when Wake Forest finally broke loose with the talents of Omir Hernandez as well as Parente. And we are off here. As finally the clouds breaking up a little bit just in time for nightfall, but the lights are on at Spry. There's Garrison Tubbs, the captain, wearing the captain armband.
Yeah, how about that game in 2018, Ty? Omir Fernandez on the score sheet, but you also got goals for Wake from Bruno Lapa, Machop Chol, Isaiah Parente. What a lineup that was.
Yeah. Omir's goal took off at the midway line, and it was a foot race. Obviously, Omir won. 1v1 with Pulisic. He scores, and Wake Forest went away with it, but it was highly contested. That's what happens when Duke and Wake Forest get involved. The series actually is in favor of the Blue Devils overall. As you see, the series has gone, but Coach Bobby Muse has had the best of Duke since he's been here.
Great tackle.
The Deacons riding a 13-game home winning streak. Series history right there. Corner kick for the Demon Deacons. First one of the match. And just in 2 minutes old of this match. Ty Collins alongside Kyle Vaughn. This is exciting as fans continue to move in and find a seat.
First of many corners we expect for Wake Forest tonight. They are 9th in the country in corners per game. Just over 7.5.
Kojima trying to use that far stick as he looped a little bit. And Duke trying to quickly get up the pitch.
That is something we will see all evening from the Blue Devils. They throw numbers forward. They love to play in transition, but even in the half court, they really like to pour bodies ahead into the attacking half. So those white shirts will be flowing towards Trace Alfin's goal.
Muhammad trying to flick it on.
I'm sure that Coach Kerr will mute their tactics a little against Wake.
Bean with a good look, far look. Remember, Bean got the game winner against Wake Forest when they took on the Deacs in the ACC tournament. Another highly contested match.
Both coaches that we talked to before this game really wanted to play down that game last season when we brought it up. We brought it up with Coach Kerr. He said, "You guys still talking about last season? I don't want to talk about last season anymore." And Coach Muse had the same kind of mindset. He said, "Hey, that doesn't motivate us losing to Duke in the ACC tournament." He says, "What motivates us is our goals this season." So both coaches really focused on what this game means for this year, not what it means in the context of last year.
This is interesting too, Kyle. Break away from that storyline, but the side judge said it was the throw-in for Wake. And then now the head official has changed the call for a throw-in. Oh, now they're going to go to Wake. So it went back and forth. Coach Muse was confused. But Wake Forest will throw it in.
Ty, as somebody who has officiated at much lower levels before, it is very easy to forget which way to point. When you know what the call is you want to make, but you forget which direction you're supposed to point, and then you confuse everybody.
Mike Stutt is our head referee. It'll keep me Kevin Utito as well as Mark Lawrence as the assistant referee. And Benjamin Wooten is the alternative. The Deacons in their gold jerseys, which has been somewhat of a good luck charm this year. They are 49-11 and 7 when wearing the gold jerseys. Undefeated this season at 9-0.
Only team in Division I, Ty, that has a perfect unblemished record. How about that?
It's a very good accomplishment. I know it's still early in the season, but being the last one standing of an undefeated season is something to hang your hat on. As both teams trying to fill each other out, Wake Forest knock it around the back. Going to use the advantage with no press as Baba Niang gets upended.
Interesting to see Baba Niang get a start tonight. Bobby Muse and the Deeks have been very cautious with one of their most talented players who has had some injury troubles in the past, but has really worked his way into a starting role now.
Speaking of starting, how about Oscar Sears, who gets to start? Put that one on the far stick. Is Kojima working his magic right outside of the 18, looking for someone to insert the pass to.
Yeah, Cooper Flack's not in action tonight in midfield, so it's Oscar Sears at least to start. And it's an attacking choice for Bobby Muse because he could have gone with a player like Ryan Fessler, whose profile is a bit more like Cooper Flack's as a number 8, but he has gone with Oscar Sears, who is an out-and-out number 10, and you will see him crop up all over the field. He will pop up like that, up there down near the corner flag. He'll be on the ball at the top of the penalty area, all over the field.
Periano pinching in as Duke engineering something here, and that ball was a little too heavy. And the last-minute attempt on the slide. Trey Southett put it down for the goal kick. Escorbano back after an injury last season where he was out the entire year and hasn't missed a beat. Here's Kojima. Tubbs steps. Tubbs gonna get tripped up. And the flag will point for a free kick for Wake Forest, as that was Masalas. Who came late on that challenge.
Referee gonna have a chat there, say no card, but look out early in the game to get one of those talks.
Forbes, a little late on that delivery and was cut out. Deacons still moving up their back line as they feel comfortable when they cut this pitch in half. But when you have talent like Mohammed and Bean up top, that might keep you a little bit more honest. Who am I to say, though? 6-1 in the last 2 games, outscoring their opponent 12-2.
Yeah, this Wake team has an attacking mentality. There is no doubt about it. They play this possessional game so well. Takuma Suzuki there on the ball. He is critical to this Wake team. I think you could argue that there are more talented players, but I think he is the most important player on this Wake starting 11. Just marshaling possession, never gets caught on the ball, great in the air.
Forbes able to get away in the 1v1. Here's Niang. Here's Rold Mitchell trying to turn and blast one. Here's Oscar Sears. A searing hit that sizzles the turf here and stopped by Hamill.
Well, Sears teed that one up just like you did, Ty, on the play on words there. What a hit, and just waltzed up to the ball and had a hammer.
There's Elliot Hamill. Great story about him is he was behind Pulisic and trying to wait his turn, but kind of got frustrated and, thought about transferring. So he went ahead and put in his papers, and even this is what I credit to Coach Kerr, because he wants to look at it in the player's perspective and said, yes, if I was you, I would go. And Sears is called for being in an offside position. And so he was ready to go, right? Then 2020 hit, the pandemic hit, Ivy League shut down, so he called back Coach Kerr and said, can I come back? And Coach Kerr said, I would love to have you back, but you have to earn your spot back. And he did that, and he has been just ridiculous back there. I mean, one of the nation's best goalkeepers. And where's the captain armband? He has improved his game, his communication, which is key when you're a keeper. I mean, you got to have that communication to bark out where you want your defenders.
Yeah, and he's got 2 freshman center backs in front of him, so absolutely communication is key. But you're right, what a story. And, you know, it has worked out, no question about it. It's funny sometimes how life hands you different decisions to make and then makes those decisions for you.
And he was coached up by the now UNCG coach, Chris Rich, and he told him the best advice he says he's ever gotten them, which was, you deserve to be here, so act like it, and you will start to train like it. And sure enough, he acted like it, he trained like it, and then he became the starter for Coach Kerr's Blue Devils. It's Thomas checking on Misalis. Pass to Earl Mitchell. Earl Mitchell, little heavy touch, shielding it off, and Hamill will gobble it up. That was solid defending, as Rolt Mitchell kind of got confused on where he wanted to place that ball. Maybe a little too much strength on that one. And Hamill was able to squash that attack.
I think the way that Rolt Mitchell can take his game to the next level and really establish himself as one of the nation's best strikers, he's got to make every touch count. Sometimes, whether he's trying to settle the ball or find a teammate or make a decision.
Barajas. Headed away by Escribano. Kojima sends it up for Thomas to run on. Thomas, contact and flag is waved, so it'll be a foul on Thomas against Rosales.
Yeah, I just am not a fan of that. Not only do I not think that that was a foul, but even if that was a foul, it should have been given earlier for the one on Suzuki. I think the referee attempted to play advantage, but there was no advantage there because Thomas was fighting for a 50-50 ball. And then the referee waited too long to see how that would play out to be able to bring it back for the earlier foul. So, and
sometimes the referee will, kind of, I don't know, target, but a player that's bigger than the other. But
right,
it's not bigger than the other. Look at Roll Mitchell. Can he get on the board first? He goes down, jumps back up. Oh, he was headhunting for the net. Tripped up, no point to the spot, Kyle.
Oh, beautiful ball, but this is exactly what I was talking about. Got to take that first time. You've got to hit that with your first touch. He took a touch to try and settle, and already under too much pressure, the chance was lost. That was a brilliant ball. Roll Mitchell made a brilliant run to get onto it. He just was a little indecisive once he got onto that ball, had to hit that first time.
Cito was the one that intervened. Here's Kojima. And a half volley, couldn't quite get his foot on it. Took his eye off it, and Deacons still with possession as Baba Niang comes all the way back.
The Deeks are cooking, though. That is exactly what they're looking for. Work this possessional offense, see what they can build against the 4-4-2, which is, I wouldn't say bunkered in at all, but certainly well organized and structured here against the Deeks' progression. But then if you can find those chances going forward like that, you got to take them.
Oh, nice turn. At least an attempted turn there by Sears. Possession goes back. Stroud takes it. It is picked. Look at this layoff. Here's Kojima. Rolled. Mitchell winding up, and he put the inside of his foot, and it was blocked. Good defense again by Duke.
I think that was Barajas all the way back defensively to make that block. Brilliantly done.
So it was a Cito that came all the way back.
You're right.
To block that.
I mean, that's a goal-saving block right there. Brilliant build-up again for the Deeks. They are working the offense.
Muhammad went down.
Look at this, one-touch
They
pass.
play on.
I mean, that is just stunning.
Rolled Mitchell. Done a little vacuum here. Plays it to the right to Thomas. Thomas surveying. Thomas to his right. Will play it across. Nobody there. Baba Niang may have been the intended target, but it went past the goal mouth and no shot. But Niang sends a sizzler right into the hands of Hamill.
Oh, man, this Wake offense on the ball is just spectacular. The one-touch passing to get there. First of all, what a block. Brilliantly done by Acito. You were right. And then Colin Thomas across the face of goal. No one there to reach it. Deeks are cooking right now on the ball. The possession is fantastic. The Blue Devils have no idea how to get the ball off the Deeks' feet right now.
So far, you can't really say there is that hangover from the big defeat down in Clemson, which nobody in their right mind would have said that Wake Forest would win 6-1 down in Death Valley. As this Deacon team is coming out with their hair on fire, in the words of former head coach of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons football team, Jim Grove.
Ty, and it's the little things that they do on the ball. It's the number 6 coming back into the defensive line to allow a center back to push forward. It's Kojima on the ball with a little feint when he receives it to get his defender on his heels. It's just the little things that they do on the ball that gets this Duke team all turned around and twisted. Make every touch count. That's what they do so well.
Still 0-0. Just 3 shots for the Demon Deacons and 1 for the Duke Blue Devils. We're leveled 0-0. The Deacons have had the best chances, though, as Tubbs coming in on that one. Look at the great assistance by Escribano.
Yeah, and the center backs for the Deeks play out so wide in possession that when they have to track back, they can sometimes get caught out of position. So Escribano noticing that Tubbs was in a little bit of trouble. Not too much trouble. He might have been able to recover by himself, but there to help and make things nice and easy. The Deeks back on the ball.
Baba Niang with his patent turn gets knocked out and will quickly restart. Of course, you say 6-1, right, on the score line against Clemson, right?
Yeah. Well,
what did I tell you when we talked to Coach Muse?
Well, both coaches
he
said
would never be satisfied.
Both coaches said that scoreline did not reflect the run of play, which it didn't. I mean, Wake took every chance they had.
Niang may give it a ride, and that one is touched last by. Yep, that's right. Corner kick. Had the check. Trying to find that flag. It is pointed down at the flag, and I should just listen to you, Carter.
Well, Wake took every chance in that game, and Trace Alpha made a couple of great saves too. So
my goodness,
6-1 didn't reflect the way that game was played, but still, I mean, what a stunning result.
It was solid. Shots on goal, shots on frame. That's
right.
I mean, those 2 outside of the 18 shots by Niang and Kojima.
I think the Deeks scored with like their first 3 shots on goal or something like that.
And then they just broke it loose. Oscar Sears plays the short option. Forbes comes over to the right side. Thomas comes all the way back to play that safety position. Forbes looks up, sends it with his left. About 26 and a half until we get to halftime. 0-0. Number 1 Wake Forest versus number 4 the Duke Blue Devils. Thomas right outside of the area. Escribano looks up, lifts it high, trying to find Earl Mitchell. Deacon still in the final third. Kojima, he can create. Kojima drawing the double team. They know how important he is to this offense. I was going to say, if he got that off without going out of bounds, that is truly a magician.
I thought he had for a second. I mean, the Deeks have this Duke team
frazzled. There's no question about it. This could be tough for Wake Forest with Kojima down right now. But just possessionally, every touch has a Duke player on their heels. The possession is out of this world.
That goes in part by how Bobby Muse brings this team in. You wouldn't think they're number one in the nation. Just the way Coach Muse will talk about it. He loves them. He loves their grit, but you just always say, yeah, but we need this and that. It's always laser focus on every match. So you come into this one where you think, okay, confidence high, ego high, but he keeps them humbled.
And they play like such a team, too. That's what I think is the most impressive thing to see. And Kojima's going to need a substitution here. Hopefully he can find his way back into the game. There's no superstar on this team. There's nobody that you say, this is the guy that gets all the attention, the national spotlight, anything like that. For a number one team to have nobody that stands out, it's just such
it's a soccer team.
It really is an 11-man
Yep.
or a 22-man, or however. The squad is so impressive, and Bobby Muse has them playing together. He said that. You know, you asked him, what do you want people to remember about this team? And he said, we're together. We're tight-knit.
That's tough, too, because you think about who they lost last season, you know, which is an integral part of the offense with Kyle Holcomb, and still able to jump onto the season without any hesitation. Fessler comes in for Kojima. Hopefully Kojima will be okay. And this will also show the depth that Wake Forest has, because Fessler, first one off the bench, like I said many times, is a starter that comes off the bench. So good with his vision. And Duke, as Barajas. Now they'll switch. Here's Mosales.
And now it's on the Deeks to find that spark again. It was a little bit neutered after the Kojima injury. Gave Duke a chance to regroup.
Good step. Poked up for Rold Mitchell. Rold Mitchell lays it off to the right for Fessler to chase it down. He keeps it in bounds. See what Fessler can invent. Plays his support to Thomas. Thomas pinching in, still looking for an option. Plays his support to Suzuki. Now, under 25 minutes to go in the first half of this one. A Big Four derby. Number 1 versus number 4. Still level at 0.
What a tackle there by Peter Stroud. He's such a great player in this Duke midfield. So critical to their transition game and their possession game, but also can come back and put in a tackle like we saw there.
Rold Mitchell looked like as if he was playing defense. Trying to get that one back.
Well, what we've seen from Wake so far here, Ty, is a team that is so selective. They want the chance to be good for them to go and attack. If not, cycle it back, look for another opportunity. This Wake team knows and is so well drilled at not being afraid to go back. But then when the opportunity presents itself, take it. And that's what they're so good at.
Another thing, too, Kyle, that makes this 2022 Wake Forest team really phenomenal is that they're basically their star coming into this season was supposed to be Omar Hernandez, right? And he hasn't been able to play, still trying to get into, full match fitness, and only 45 minutes he's played. And the Deacons still 9-0 and winning 6-1 down in Clemson. The ACC preseason player to watch, Hernandez, still trying to get into match form. So imagine once he is 100%. Thomas to Mitchell. Mitchell scans the field. Will have to keep going to the left. Mitchell. Mitchell goes down twice. Still, the official says play on. And the Blue Devils say, all right, we'll keep it going.
Yeah, I think actually that was the right call, Ty. It looked like he slipped on the ball the first time and then slipped on the wet ground the second time.
Escribano, head up, looks for Rold Mitchell, plays the simple ball to Oscar Sears. Once again, Wake Forest trying to create another attack. This time they'll recycle it back to Tubbs, and Tubbs will try the left side. Here's Niang. Niang to Fessler. Fessler looks to the right. Here's Thomas. Thomas lays that one across, headed down. Here's a blast from Sears, and he just couldn't get his knee over it.
Well, another heroic block from this Duke back line. It looked like that header was destined for the back of the net. No one there, and out of nowhere, Gudbjornsson comes over and gets his foot on it. Kick save. And a beauty.
Okay, you threw me off there for a second. The point with the pin, Lee Corso style, too got me. Yeah, that was a kick save, and that, again, illustrates how this defense for Duke just is so good. Rold Mitchell.
His hold-up play today so far has been spectacular with his back to goal. Had one, sometimes two white shirts blanketed on him every single time he receives the ball. Still able to keep possession most of the time. He lost it there, but being hounded with a double team.
He uses the long legs as a weapon.
And his torso, too. You watch him, you're right, Ty. He just uses his body to shield the ball, sometimes almost horizontally if he's knocked over a little bit, puts his hands down, keeps his body out, and maintains possession.
Here's a step by Forbes. Inserted ball to Sears. Sears can give it a rip. He sends it, and it's just right. Oh, ho, ho. Missile lock was on, and he just made that one veer off to the right.
Yeah, he likes it too. So close, takes aim, and just a little too much bend on it. What a hit, and a little smirk too from Hamill at the end of that. He knows if that was just a few inches more to the left, it's into the back of the net, but what you could, you shoulda.
He was trying to emulate Partey.
Yes.
After today's match. Sorry.
Had to get your arsenal.
You know I had to throw that in there.
This game's still even, though.
Breaking news, North London is red.
Wake and Duke both know that the Deeks, for all the possession and all the shots and all the attacking flair, this game's still even.
Yes.
And Deeks can't let their guard down for even a moment, because this Duke team is so good, and they get their chance to throw numbers forward, they're going to take it.
Yeah, that's why they're number 4 in the country. Probably should be higher, in my opinion, but I'll just keep that at that.
I mean, top 5 is top 5.
Well, I mean, I just feel like you haven't lost, and the team that's above you has lost. Sorry. This Duke team is very, very good.
Line changes coming on for Duke, too, here in a minute. You see him lined up there on the sideline.
Winning in Louisville, that game that they won. They've never won in Louisville in 7 years. And Muhammad pulled a absolute golazo. There's Coach Kerr. He's sitting down right there. 15th season. Former Duke player. He's also a Mac Herman Trophy Award winner. One of 7 by the Blue Devils.
Won a title, too.
Yeah, did it. That was the only title back in '86 where they beat Akron. The year before, it was American that went into the championship game in the Kingdom, and his assistant is a American grad. So just under 20 minutes in the first half. A stoppage of time will give the Deacons a chance to set up here on a set piece. The bender.
What a delivery off the right foot.
That was keen and hot.
Oh,
that was
goodness,
good.
this is almost an own goal. First of all, the ball's right there at the far post. Tubbs is waiting for it, and Gudbjornsson just sticks his foot out. I'm going to say kick save. Not quite a beauty, but he got the job done because Tubbs was there waiting.
And here comes the depth of this Duke Blue Devil team that Coach Kerr will show here against the #1 Wake Forest Demon Deacon team. Sears will take the corner. Oscar getting the start tonight. Cooper Flax not starting. Oscar Sears' numbers, you would think he is a starter. He sends this one right at that second 6, they like to call it, at the 12, and yes, handball is called.
It's unlucky. Ball just popped right up into Rold Mitchell's outstretched arm. Ball comes in and boink off his chest too. That's just unlucky. But the right call.
Good flick on Sears, trying to control it. Sends it back.
Duke had a couple of injuries to contend with. They had a very physical game against Yale last time out. I mean,
that is a tough match to play in midweek. Right?
Yeah, and they got battered. Yale had a ton of fouls and had a couple of guys go down with injury, most of them starting today, so able to recover, but I'm sure Coach Kerr is going to want to rotate them. Interestingly enough, the one player that we were looking at as maybe questionable for today that didn't start was Wayne Frederick, and he has just come in off the bench. So all of their players that took a couple of knocks against Yale able to make it to the field today. So that's a boost for Duke and a testament to their training staff.
Just 6 shots by the Demon Deacons, only 1 by the Blue Devils. Rold Mitchell swimming his way into the 18, getting right there at that penalty spot, hoping that the official will point to the penalty spot.
Yeah, and you know what? Live, there looked to be contact. It would have been a very soft penalty had it been called, but I think the referee let that one go because it did look a little like Mitchell was looking for the contact as he went through 3 defenders there and really no opening on goal. So Mitchell looking for contact instead to try and win a penalty. Referee lets it go. We'd love to see that one again at some point.
There's Wallent. A little extra mustard on that one as that one goes out of bounds. Gonzalez. Suzuki had him backed up, is able to get and link up with Muhammad.
Deeks pushing every button, trying to find a way into the back of the net. And I mean, you look at Duke, what they have survived in this game, the Blue Devils. You can see why they're one of the best defensive teams in the country. A couple of critical tackles, a few blocks that have kept the ball from going into the back of the net, and very good organization, making Wake work for every chance.
Wallent setting that up to send the probing pass. Now we're on the near channel with Thomas. Thomas escaping. Fessler.
We know.
Just look at him scanning. It's amazing. Escobato! And a half volley that he punched with his shoelaces. Just
take a look at this
not on target
here. Rold Mitchell going down. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of late contact there on the block, but Mitchell had already lost the ball in a heavy touch. That is a very, very close decision, and so definitely give the right of way to the referee for what he felt was not enough to earn a penalty. There was late contact there on a block, but Mitchell was already going down. It didn't look like there was much of a shove from behind. I have to agree with the call, although either decision there would have been defensible, I think.
Omar Hernandez has come in for the Demon Deacons. Omar, who in the last match between these two suffered a season-ending injury. So he is happy to be back on the pitch, and just an outstanding talent, which again is still an amazing story by this Wake Forest team, that without his services, or without Hernandez at 100%, they're still 9-0.
Yeah, and they've been so potent in the buildup and the attack as well without him. So it just speaks to how talented this team is. I know we've talked about this multiple times previously, but speaking with Coach Kiefer of NC State, you know, I posited the question to him. I said, how do you attack a team that doesn't have a standout superstar? He goes, do you really believe what just came out of your mouth? He said, they're all superstars. That's the problem, is that on any other team, these guys would be the player to watch. But on this team, they're just one of many. And he's absolutely right.
This will be the first good chance for the Blue Devils here, with just about 12 minutes remaining in the first half. Still tied 1-1 or 0-0. This one's sent in. Rushing on is good Bjornsson. Well, that ball got over. Mohamed still trying to keep his footing. And here's someone that's been silent daily, number 2.
And it's a little slick out there, Ty. We've seen a couple of players go down under not a lot of pressure or no pressure, just from all the rain. I mentioned earlier Hurricane Ian coming through here and causing some problems. A lot of rain. I think I saw something like 2 inches of rain, which is a ton. The field has held up well, but obviously it's going to be slick after that.
Yeah, just kind of clouds kind of hung around here this afternoon in Winston-Salem. Here's Daly. Oh, good look. This is dangerous. Can Duke figure something out? Oh, my goodness. 2 good looks. 11 minutes. And Duke can feel it.
That was almost a stunning back heel that nearly produced an assist. Take a look at this entry ball. It just kept finding white jerseys right there. What creativity from Scotty Taylor, the senior out of the New York Red Bulls Academy, just hitting it with his heel, trying to find a teammate. Nearly came off. Looked like Wayne Frederick also came out of that limping a little bit, so I want to keep an eye on him, see if Duke takes him off. He was one of the players that took a few lumps against Yale.
Scotty Taylor, senior from Millburn, New Jersey, already has a game winner against San Diego. And that was their opener. Here's Escribano. Escribano invites the challenge. Hernandez, pardon me, that's Guarino. Hernandez trying to lay that one off, in possession back to the Blue Devils. Sending it into space with Stroud running on.
Look at the recovery of Valent.
Right there in the middle is Taylor.
Great job by Vlad Valent to make his way all the way back. The Deeks had poor numbers forward and were caught out of possession. Valent able to come blistering back and keep that from finding its way into the 6-yard box.
This will be a corner for Duke. Can they draw first blood here? 0-0. Here's a curler right there in the middle, close to the 12-yard mark. Still in a dangerous spot. Good Bjornsson. A tall target. And Duke moving their back line up. Poked away, and the Deacons have possession.
Yeah, Gudbjornsson's a problem there in the box. He gets his foot to it, his head to it, his chest to it. Just such a big presence, 6'4", 195 out of Reykjavik. Played for the same club team his entire time before coming here to Duke. Joined Fokir at 5 years old.
Pardon you.
Played in the second and third tier of the Icelandic professional rankings.
Fessler. Fessler always thinks pass first. And he wants to get rid of it quickly. Makes this nice run. Is he able to get it? Now it's cut out immediately.
It feels like the Blue Devils have kind of figured out Wake's possession and progression. And the Deeks are finding it a lot more difficult to get through this 4-4-2 organization.
Chase Oliver, a weapon off the bench, has come in to run the back line. Tired. That's what he will do. No goals. 7:14 left to go. Oh, Wallen almost saw that one slip right to his boot.
How about yet another incredible tackle by Amir Daly to keep that great pass from finding its mark. Hernandez delivering a through ball that nearly broke that Blue Devils back line. Daly there to keep it out. Yet another great play at the back for the Blue Devils. They are bending but have not broken yet.
Yeah, weathering the storm too. I mean, still 0-0. The Deacons have 7 shots. Duke has 1, but you know, this actually bodes well for Duke. They see this push, the storm surge, if you will, by this Demon Deacon team, and no goal allowed. And we'll have another stoppage of time, as our producer has told us they're going to review something. They're looking at something.
I'm going to posit a guess here, Ty. I do not know this, but the end of that play looked a little dicey after Daly's tackle. Behind the play, you wonder if Garino got into it a little bit with somebody, which I didn't see anything, but out of the corner of my eye, it looked like there might have been a little bit of extracurricular. And Coach Kerr had some words with the officials after that. He may be the one to ask for the review here. And Garino could potentially be in a little bit of trouble. Again, I didn't see it dead on, but it looked like there was something going on afterwards. Wake, the beneficiaries of this against NC State, of a review that Coach Muse asked for, and sure enough, on replay, they were able to spot some naughty behavior. NC State went down to 10 men just, what was that, 11 minutes into that game?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's going to the pocket for somebody. And they play on. Well, it looked for all the world like the referee was checking every pocket.
He was going to the pocket to check his change.
So here's the tackle from Daly, which was excellent. And then Garino gets in it with Gudbjornsson.
Oh, I guess
and there was nothing really there. I don't know what they may have seen. I thought there might have been something after that. But clearly the referee didn't see anything to take action, which is good news for both teams.
Good news for the Devils as they continue to move into the final third, but good defense again by this Wake Forest side. And it's a physical match between the two. I knew that was definitely going to be part of this storyline for this match. Both teams not shy of any kind of contact.
Prince and Ponza pleading with the official for something.
A corner that will be an in-swinger. And this is Drew Kerr, the son of John Kerr.
One of 2 kids he's got on the team.
Left foot in-swinger, bending is Cito. The handball, I believe, was called, is Trace Alphen. Witnessed that one. Trying to get the referee's attention. Under 6.5 to go in the first half. 0-0. Duke has organized well after an intense attack by the Demon Deacons here for most of the first half. Kojima has gone out, though, and he was a huge key in getting the Wake Forest Demon Deacon side down to the attacking third and creating lots of possibilities.
It does feel like that injury to Kojima has taken a little bit of the air out of the Deeks attack. Guys who have come on just have not been able to fill that void. Fessler's been pretty good in his number 8 role. Hernandez hasn't really gotten back to his best yet after his injury.
He's still trying to get his footing, too,
Yeah.
especially in this match. He can get his footing here. He can use both feet. He will use his left here. Let's see where they place it. Hernandez. And he sent it to the side net on the wrong side.
Well, the Deeks rack up so many corners, Ty, that it's a little surprising that they haven't been more dangerous on them this year. They've started to look a little more precise over the last few weeks. But Coach Muse told us, he said, well, we're not the tallest team in the world, so we have to get a little bit creative on the corners. And they just haven't been able to put it all together yet.
They are 9th in the country in corners.
Ouch.
And good Bjornsson goes down. It was Garino in the area, so that's something that Garino needs to be aware of.
Yeah,
I'm sure the official has him circled.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything malicious there. Bjornsson is just so tall and gets up so high that
didn't see him.
What goes up must come down. Yeah, looks like he's okay, which is a positive. But you're right.
6'4". Yeah.
Garino and Bjornsson have had a couple of scuffles. I don't think there was anything malicious in that one. Just an unfortunate fall. Glad to see he's okay.
Four and a half here in Act 1. Nobody has scored. Top 5 matchup on the marquee here at Spry Stadium with the Demon Deacons number 1 and the Duke Blue Devils number 4. Last 2 matches, Wake Forest has outscored their opponent 12-2. Escribano trying to cut in, and it was cut out by Kerr. Escribano claims it right back. Hernandez.
Great ball.
Garino was coming and asking for it. The long ball. Long diagonal ball.
Yeah, that had a little more juice on it than I thought at first. He was looking for the run of Valent. The Duke back line wanted an offside flag on that. He was well behind the back line when that ball was delivered. Just a bit too much mustard on it.
We've got hot dogs or something on the mind. And the fair's in town, so that's why we've used mustard twice. This one will get through, and Trace Alfin coming up. He didn't see the flag was up. Trace Alfin not scared to come off his line.
No, he sure isn't. You know, he had a play very similar to that against Clemson. It was called a penalty, and it was the right call. Take a look at this. Yeah, he's well offside on that. Easy call for the referee. But Alfin not afraid to go into a challenge like that and stake his claim for the ball.
Scribano, surprise, he's able to get possession. 2.5. Hamill will let this trickle to his foot. Still 7 shots for the team in gold and 2 for the team in white. And both with goose eggs on the scoreboard. Fessler Forbes sending a long one, intended for Walent.
Blue Devils have been a lot cleaner in possession over the last 10, 15 minutes or so, and it has translated directly into
An attacking danger. Deeks have not been able to have the same kind of calmness on the ball because the Blue Devils earlier on had been giving it right back to them every time they got possession. Over the last 10, 15 minutes or so, though, Duke very, very precise in possession, and the Deeks have had to do a lot more defending.
They were motoring most of the beginning of the first half, and part of that motoring was because of their motor, the machine Kojima. This is sent right there at the 6-yard mark. Last touched by a Demon Deacon, so it will be a corner with a minute and some change left to go in the first half.
Tubbs clearly felt like that was last touched by a Blue Devil.
Kerr now will take it with 1 minute remaining. Here in the first 45, tied 0-0, unless Duke can come up with something here. They point to the corner spot again. 44 seconds. Can the Blue Devils strike first? This one is high in the air, looking for a good Bjornsson. It gets over his head, quickly back into the mixer. Still in a dangerous spot. And now the Deacons here on transition.
Oh,
Could
man.
they come up with a goal? Good defense by Daly. Daly.
Hamill got away with one. Well, Lent looked up and saw Elliot Hamill way off his line. The ball just bobbled off his foot, though. He was looking for that deep three-quarter court chip.
And Fessler will just chip this one over the midway line, and that will be it for the first 45 with nobody on the goal-scoring tally. It's still 0-0 after the end of Act 1 against number 1 and number 4.
What a
48, 11, and 10. As it is tied 0-0. Baba Niang will start here in the second half. Again with Sears starting and Rold Mitchell. Do not see Kojima, which is concerning if you're a Wake fan, and of course Coach Bobby Muse, because he is pretty much the heartbeat, the motor that gets this team going. He just won't stop. The fight in Kojima is probably is the best in the country, and Kojima is out after he suffered a knock in the first half.
Ty, how about this? These two teams thrive in the second half here as the whistle blows. Deeks outscoring their opponents 16-4 in the second half. How about Duke? 9-1. They've only given up one second half goal all season long.
Something's got to give here. There is no overtime, and I'm sure both teams are fully aware of it. One of the frustrating things about this year with that new rule change, I know Duke was upset when they had a tie against North Carolina after they went ahead, and 30 seconds later, it was actually Omir Daly that started things off against the rival North Carolina Tar Heels, and then the Tar Heels equalized, and they stayed at 1-1 all the way through the whole 90. But it does keep the rest, at least for the players, with an arduous schedule in the fall.
Yeah, you and I have both talked about how I think that the loss of overtime is a big loss for college soccer in general. There are plenty of other ways to give the players rest than taking away one of the more exciting and entertaining portions of the season. It's, you know, it's extra minutes, but it's not like it builds up over the course of the year. You know, we've talked about that 21st century model being the
Nod, wink, wink. Say
Yeah.
no more, right? Yeah.
That's the way forward for this league and this.
It's a no-brainer too, and the officials agree with it too. And it's just astounding to me that they haven't quite made that official. As Baba Niang comes up with it, to the middle to Shears. The Deacons will have to figure things out on the creative side without number 16 on Kojima. And the Blue Devils, moving into the attacking third. The official says play on, and we're far away from the action. Maybe we'll get another look at it, but sometimes that's one of those Neymar plays, right? You get close and then you want to kind of jump out,
Yeah,
see if you can get the foul.
Live, Ty, that looked like a penalty. I'm going to say that.
Never mind.
I'm going to reserve my right for the replay, but live, it did look like, I think it was Escribano, arms outstretched with a bit of a push. I'm sure we'll get another look at it here at some point once play comes to an end, but I will say first glance, I was waiting for the referee to point to the spot.
Okay.
Again, it was another one of those close ones.
Right.
We saw one in the first half where the referee let it go because it was a 50-50. Was it a foul? Was it not? I don't want to change the game with a penalty on one that was, maybe. But that one, I think, to me was another maybe, but in favor of the other side. Yeah, there's an outstretched left hand there from Escribano onto the back. To me, I don't know how much that push actually caused the fall, but whenever you get your arm outstretched like that, you're asking for the referee to make a call. To me, it would have been a soft one, Ty, but for me, that's a penalty.
You think they probably just leveled it, just like the score here, because of that rolled Mitchell that maybe had been questionable.
Sure.
So, I mean, you can at least maybe say, let's just do a wash here, but still 0-0. And we very well could have seen 2 PKs in this one. To see a lot of fans in the stands, especially they got that cabin fever from Hurricane Ian who came through. Just anxious to get out. Good layoff by Muhammad. And Escribano will go down. This time, the whistle's blown. And Stroud may have tripped him up.
Duke's struggling to get the ball into the attacking third here pretty much since the half-hour mark. The Blue Devils have figured out something in the Wake Forest progression.
There's Rold Mitchell trying to get around good Bjornsson.
Unlucky to not get a corner out of that. Bounced just to the outside of the flag. Great run by Rold Mitchell. They really do miss his presence when he is not on the field. You saw when Leo Garino came on, just a completely different profile of player between those two. And whenever the Deeks have the threat of the long ball to Rold Mitchell, even just the threat of that is enough to make Duke play back and keep them from pouring numbers forward.
And he's such a easy target to see, not to knock Garino because he's not as tall as Rold, but you look up and you see number 9, and that's where you want to go because he's the apex of the attack. Both teams searching for the first goal of this match.
Keenan Hott taking one to the dome.
Highly recruited. Coach Kerr has done an outstanding job of recruiting, always in the top 10.
And you look across this Duke lineup, you see not only this academy, that academy, but you see trained with this team, trained with that team. Keenan Hott having trained previously on a trial with Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Bundesliga. That's quite a name. It's a Champions League team.
Yeah, and you also have to think it's always a log jam, too, in the state of North Carolina. You have the Tar Heels that always have good recruiting classes. Duke, obviously, that's the Duke team that has to recruit against them, as well as State sometimes get some good ones. And well, of course, Wake Forest, who has the #2 recruiting class in the country. And then teams like Charlotte and UNCG. Everybody's searching for services or high talented players. And Ponza trying to link up with Sears.
Oh, the passing is just exquisite, Ty.
Thomas slipping through.
Blue Devils can't get a foot on the ball, even as they press very hard and very precisely. Just every pass finds a gold shirt. But give Duke credit. They have done a fabulous job of keeping the ball in front of them defensively. These moves from the Deeks would have unlocked any other team in the country. Saw a moment ago, Colin Thomas made a run forward that drew his defender and left space for Escorbano down the right. That would have fooled many, many other teams in the country. Here, though, the Blue Devils saw it coming. Tackle came in, cleared the chance. So this has just been a very high-quality Duke defensive structure.
Daly is a player you're going to have to circle because he will get involved in the attack and he can slip through and create a lot of opportunities for the Blue Devils. That one sent across. Thomas comes up with it. As the Deacons searching for that extra spark of some energy here in the second half, hunting for that first goal.
I don't want to, put some crazy comparisons out there, but Takuma Suzuki is just such a wonderful player. We'll get to that in a second.
Niang, look at Niang. Niang dancing inside the 18 and may have gotten lost to where he is because he looked up to take a shot on target and the goal was not where he thought it was going to be.
Yeah, how Cristiano Ronaldo of Baba Niang here. Step over, step over, step over. Got his defender all twisted, but give Daly credit because, yeah, did he get turned around in that chance? Absolutely, but he kept his cool and kept his wits enough to push Niang wide, and there was no angle for a shot there. It would have taken a world-class hit for Baba to find the back of the net from that chance. So give Amir Daly a lot of credit. You just mentioned, Ty, about how he can really get forward and contribute in the attack. He can even go up and play right wing in a pinch, which we saw earlier this season from Duke, but they're clearly showing his defensive capabilities against some top-class talent. And I just want to go back to Takuma Suzuki here for a second because I'd like to finish that. He is a brilliant player on the ball and defensively. So important to this Wake team. I mean, he profiles so similarly to a Sergio Busquets, a guy who is beautiful and free-flowing on the ball, never gets the credit he deserves because he's not involved in, goal-scoring chances and threading brilliant through balls and things like that, but just such a calming and wonderful presence for the team on the ball and off the ball. His abilities to intercept and find passing lanes, and then also in the air. He's almost perfect in aerial duels out there in open play. So Takuma Suzuki, just a brilliant player.
Yeah, he's imperative to this side, and Coach Musa said that as that foot was laid out, tripped up in a free kick for the Duke Blue Devils here.
Ty, I'm stunned that this is not a yellow card, because to me that looked like a very late challenge, no chance at the ball, and I think should have been a caution here. And I'm surprised that the official, who has been quick to speak with players and tell them, hey, I don't want to see any more of that, I'm surprised that, of course, just as I talk up Suzuki here, very late with that step, no chance to win the ball, a bit cynical, and I'm shocked that no yellow card has been shown there.
The Deacons with a three-man wall here. And behind it, which is Ruben Mosales, but he won't take it, and flicked on over Trace Alfin. Baba Niang is questioning, but the Duke Blue Devils strike first. And an absolute deafening goal by Shaq Muhammad, flipping it and flicking it over Trace Alfin. Baba Niang still pleading with the official. He was down on the ground. I'm not sure what exactly occurred there, but the Blue Devils will get the lead in the first goal of this match.
Yeah, set pieces have been a key for Duke this entire game. The corners have been on point, and what a skill that is from Muhammad to flick it with his back to goal and find open space past Trace Alfin. That is 10 of 10 difficulty, and a spectacular goal by a spectacular player. Bobby Muse said he's the guy that we need to keep an eye on, and Wake Forest there on that set piece just completely lost sight of Shaq Muhammad.
Suzuki challenging Bean, and they'll bring it back. He'll call the foul on Suzuki. Tubbs is frustrated. You can see his emotions. Alfin, who is kind of been bored back there, finally gets some action, and that was a tough ball to play as that one's flicked on and goes in to give the Duke Blue Devils a 1-0 lead. Here, 33 minutes remaining. The Blue Devils' last win against the #1 team came back in 2014, where they beat their heated rival, the North Carolina Tar Heels. That was 2-1 at Koskinen Stadium. Well, Wake Forest will have to deal with some adversity here. Another beautiful ball played by Periano. A half volley clearance sends it up for Rold Mitchell, and Rold Mitchell will get clipped.
First yellow card of the game, there it is. I'm surprised Suzuki didn't get one earlier, but here you've got to give that chopping down Rold Mitchell in transition. The Deeks had an attacking opportunity here, and very, very late, cynical Keenan Hott goes into the book. Oh, that's Stroud. I think that was Keenan Hott there that we saw in the replay. It was. So Keenan Hott gets the yellow card.
And looking over at the sideline, I do not see Kojima, which is concerning because, you know, right when you get 100% healthy somewhat, you have Cooper Flax that goes out against Clemson. And then here, Kojima goes out. Niang, and that is going to be a point to the spot. Niang, intelligent on the ball, waited, and he got contact, and he went down.
Yeah, you say intelligent. He's looking for this the whole way. He knows he's got a tight angle. He's waiting for the foul. I mean, that is spot on. That is the easiest call to point to the spot the referee will have to make in his entire career. Not sure what the Blue Devils are upset about here, but Baba Niang was looking for that the whole way. He knew exactly what he was doing. He drew the contact, and he got the penalty. That is a stonewall penalty, and a chance here for the Deeks to level this thing up. I mean, they have prodded and poked at this Duke back line this entire game. They haven't been able to find the final product, and here's a chance to break the duck.
Again, that just shows Baba Niang's IQ. I mean, he, like you said, which is perfect. He comes in, he knows the angle's tight. You have to wait until you're able to get past the defender, wait till you get some kind of contact, and then you go down.
Yeah, and you know, Daly, we talked about his defensive abilities earlier. He got suckered into that. Baba knew exactly what he was doing. He knew the contact was coming. He knew the tackle was coming in. It was late. He had beaten Daly, and Amir still went in for the challenge.
So here is Niang searching for the equalizer. His third goal of the year if this one ripples the net. Of course, he is going 1v1 with one of the best goalkeepers in the nation. So Niang drawing the foul the point to the spot. And he's 12 yards away from getting this to level terms.
You could hear a pin drop in Spry right now.
So Niang will stare down the Hamill. Niang buries it, and it's 1-1. We're level.
How about the hop, skip, and a jump, the Jorginho penalty from Baba Niang. He saw the goalkeeper Hamill commit, and then he found the inside of the right-hand post and tie. Well, the entire field was focused on that penalty area, and Baba Niang sending Hamill the wrong way. I took a peek down the other end of the field, and Trace Alphen was on the ground, hunched over, back to the penalty spot, and waited for the crowd to tell him what happened. He couldn't watch, and sure enough, Spry explodes, and Trace Alphen can celebrate with his team because he knows what happened.
You're not lying, too. I mean, it was quiet in here.
Yellow
Card
card
goes up to Sears, and Kyle, we're tied 1-1. Number 4 coming into town, taking on number 1. We were excited about this one. We found out this game was on the slate. Is Stroud going in on that 50-50 ball, and I guess they...
Yeah, you can't duck under like that. Sears has to know that if he's going to go up for the challenge, he has to go up for the challenge. He knew he was beaten, and ducking under is a very dangerous play.
Mohammed, he's got a lot of confidence. Here's Roll Mitchell. Flying by, will go up against Stroud. Stroud sending it out of bounds.
Ty, I want to give credit to Keenan Hott here. That was a wonderful and necessary challenge on Rolled Mitchell. Hott is already on a yellow card. If he brings Mitchell down there in transition, he's going to get sent off. He had to be accurate, and he was. That was a big, big tackle by the freshman from New Jersey.
Periano. This one was put on a platter for Bean, and just off the foot of Baba Niang on a mistake. But fortunately for the Demon Deacons, Bean sent that one sailing. Remember, Bean got the game winner against this Wake Forest team last year in the ACC tournament. Forbes, long ball. Mitchell was on. Mitchell will go. Mitchell trying to cut that one back. Mitchell flustered as that ball was tough to bring down, but he did time his run. And Tubbs on a foot race sending this one back dangerously to Alphen, and Alphen trying to clear it, knocks it off Bean, and Bean scores.
Wow.
To give the Duke Blue Devils the lead again.
Take the air out of Spry Stadium out of nothing. Garrison Tubbs left that one a little bit short, and it put Alphen under pressure. Trace, you expect him so good on the ball to maybe sidestep and let the defender fly by. Instead tries to boot it long, and Jai Bean is right there to challenge the boot. Tubbs has got to hit that one. Fizz it back to your goalkeeper. But instead, he leaves it short, forces Alphen to come out and try to clear it, and it just bounces into the back of the net. What a way for Duke to go in front. Give credit to Bean for pursuing that at full pace the whole way, not let anything go.
Kenjot Bean once again be the game winner against this Wake Forest Demon Deacon team, as he has now put the Blue Devils up 2-1 off of pressuring that pass back by Garrison Tubbs.
Well, the Deeks responded quickly after going 1-0 down. We'll see what happens as they go 2-1 down. This game's getting chippy as well. A lot more physical play than we saw in the first half. First half was all about technical ability and skill and progression. This half, it's about desire and heart and effort.
Speaking of heart, there's Thomas. Plenty of it. Sending it back to Escribano as Bean got right in the middle of that passing lane, which was a brilliant play by Bean. Duke scores, then Wake Forest answers with a PK from Baba Niang. And off a mistake in the back, Bean executes and makes it 2-1. Can Wake Forest have an answer?
I think the official had some words for the Duke sideline there. He said, I'm not going to do anything about it, but this is your one warning.
Still Kojima not on the pitch. He went out in the first half, and his absence is palpable.
Looks like they're readying Vlad Walent. He had some electricity at the end of the first half.
Fessler over the shoulder. Fessler. Is Rold Mitchell trying to turn and blast, and again, suffocating defense by this Duke Blue Devil team. Here's Baba Niang. Can Niang answer another one? Sends this one far. Stick. It's out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick. Substitution now. 2 come on for the Blue Devils. 1 will come on for the Demon Deacons.
Wallen coming on for Sears instead of for Baba. So that means Niang is going to go into the number 10 role. Bobby Muse putting his most formidable playmaker in the position to succeed here in the middle, right at the heart of this Wake attack.
2-1. Blue Devils leading the Demon Deacons. Hoping to disrupt this Wake Forest unblemished record in 2022 and end the streak at 13 here at home. Fessler. Mitchell. Head on a swivel, looking maybe to go in Wallen's direction. And Ponza moving all the way up. Here's Suzuki. Inserted ball, Fessler! And a one-hopper into the hands of Hamill.
Well, that was critical by Hamill, because if he doesn't get the Velcro to that ball, Vlad Walent is making a charge to put a rebound in. If he doesn't catch that, Walent was just off screen to the right there, coming in to bury the rebound. Great job by Hamill. What a goalkeeper he is.
Hard work paying off for Hamill. Replacing Christian Pulisic's cousin, who was all ACC. Was about seconds away from transferring to an Ivy League school. And the pandemic hit and said, well, I'll come back because the Ivy League has canceled their season. And he earns the starting position. And here he is here in 2022, being in charge of this feisty Blue Devil defense that the Deacons want to see if they can unlock. Here it is. As Rold Mitchell had a good look, and Thomas coming up a 50-50 ball, and Thomas maybe a little late, and Hamill just bowled him over. And Thomas still on the ground, shaken up.
I mean, this game, Ty, has been earmarked by block after block after block from this Duke back line. This time, Ruben Misalis with a critical block as Rold Mitchell was there to bury that one. Thomas gets the card, which I feel you on the by the referee, but insult to injury here. Great through ball. Oh, comes in at the last second, and makes that play. Goalkeepers are going to get protected. Thomas earns the yellow card there, but comes off with the trainer as well.
So he got a yellow.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you can't challenge the goalkeeper like that hard when you're that late.
Thomas will take a seat.
It's just kind of a weird look because he's the one that has to come off with the trainer and gets the yellow card. So the optics are odd on that, but it's the right call.
So Coach Muse now will bring in Julian Kennedy as well as Sidney Parrish and Hernandez. Wayne Frederick comes on for Coach Kerr. 25 and a half minutes to go. 2-1 Blue Devils holding on to the lead.
Looks like Kennedy and Hernandez haven't come on quite yet, so I guess he'll wait to the next stoppage for that one. Uh-oh.
And at least a long attempt by the Blue Devils there to see if they can get Trace Alfin off his line. That was Ramirez. Sent one about 30 yards out.
Good hit. Fizzing it over the crossbar. Alfin just watching that go. 25 minutes left. This match has been enthralling from a 0-0 first half that certainly didn't feel like it to now 2-1. Blue Devils ahead on a Jabin goal. I mean, you know, if that's going to win the game for number 1 versus number 4, you kind of shake your head. All this quality and talent and skill on the field, and a sloppy, messy fumble into the back of the net goal is the difference right now.
There's a lot of weapons that Coach Muse can use. He brings in his transfer from Navy, All Patriot League, Sidney Parrish. And this one gets inside the box right there for Scotty Taylor, who had 2 touches on it.
That's the second time today that he's tried a back heel. Did one in the first half, too, that nearly came off.
Duke has really gotten bounces to go their way, and they have used it to their benefit. Kennedy claiming he got on a ball. Of course, we can't see from way over here, but Kennedy has just come into the match. Gets called for a foul, and it will be somewhat a short corner for the Blue Devils. So yes, another set piece that is very, very dangerous when you have number 24 at 6'4" lurking. Close to that, what the Mexico head coach says, that second 6-yard mark, which is ideally where you want to play the ball, and especially if you have a 6'4" target.
Yeah, their set piece deliveries tonight have been exquisite.
In swinger. Oh, that one going far stick. And a nice timed run by Frederick, and just got away from him. Deacons stepping on the gas, eyeing to get this to level terms again. Suzuki, plenty of space, scoops this one in the air, having Forbes run on. Forbes off his left foot. And throw in awarded to the Demon Deacons. See if they quickly get this into play. They do. And Bonza. Here's Walent. Walent, a heavy touch. Maybe you thought a pass, but possession goes back to the Blue Devils as Muhammad moves it all the way to that left channel, and now Duke into the final third. Taylor poaching inside the 18. Poked away and right back to the front foot of the Blue Devils, Stroud. Thomas goes down. That's Luke Thomas. Hernandez. Here's Wallent.
Great ball.
Wallent with Daly. Moves to the right. Daly, the slide tackle. Play on. Wallent comes up with it. And just sending this one into space, hoping Scotty Taylor can run on. Alfin all the way off his line. Getting close to just 20 minutes remaining. 2-1. Blue Devils.
Oh,
leading.
man. If Hernandez hits that with a little more juice, that is a perfect through ball for Kennedy, who made a great run. It was there.
A square ball that got past Baba Niang. And Suzuki gets called for the foul. I think that was Stroud that hit the pitch. So we'll stop play here with 2:20 and a half. And a free kick for the number 4 Duke Blue Devils. About 20 minutes away from upsetting number 1 in the nation on their home turf. Forbes.
Great header.
Here's Mpanza. Wallent. Does Niang have some magic left in him? Shaq Muhammad. Daly. That was Frederick. Was the target. And Forbes. Watch out this press. And Scotty Taylor will run around all over and chase down the back line. Hernandez looked for the big ball, plays it in the middle for Niang. Niang off to the races. Here's Niang. Niang right outside of the 18, sends it to the right foot, bounces around, got close to Wallent. Here comes Hernandez. Hernandez with the left foot. Hernandez says handball. The referee says play on. Now, Mohammed says handball. This is in the air, banged off the post, and it's tied toe-to-toe. Julian Kennedy, the super sub, knocks it in, and the flag is up saying he's offside. Oh, my goodness. Talk about watching the air just deflate out of the balloon.
I mean, you can't deliver the ball any better than that. We don't have an angle, it looks like, that'll show us whether that call was accurate or not. Have to give the benefit of the doubt to the officials, but I'll tell you what, it has looked like Julian Kennedy has had a couple of times.
That's just reckless play. Oh, and they called a foul on Forbes. Now, quickly, Scotty Taylor is backing up in an aggressive play, but,
yes,
and that is clearly on Duke, but they called the foul on Forbes.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Ty. You know, he's leaning back into Forbes to the point where if Forbes just lets him go, he'll fall to the turf. You know, this has been a tough couple of minutes here for Wake Forest. They've had some calls go against them, whether they're right or not, hard for us to say, but
it was also a smart play by Taylor, too. I mean, you back up,
yes,
you're being aggressive, you're waiting for that contact, and you're moving your back to create contact. There's that ball, man. That, from this angle, looked like. Now, we'll trust Trace Alfin, but. So this is turned up a notch on the drama level. We knew the stage was set for a huge one. And everybody has gotten their money worth. They're going to have to get another bag of popcorn. Kennedy thought he had the equalizer. He was ruled offside, so Kennedy. Under 17 and a half to go. Duke leading 2-1. Sidney Paris. Hernandez. Scoop. Hernandez. And the call, sure they're calling it on Wallent. Now, Daly is kind of playing that shuffling back like a cornerback in football and tangled up with Wallin. The referee calls the extra contact on Wallint and allows Hamill
Oh, what a boot.
to
Goodness
relax and
gracious.
send it along. Miss hit. Taylor. Half volley. And a beautiful save by Trace Alfin. I don't know. That probably surprised Taylor there as he said, why not? Half volley, let's just try it, send it on frame. And he just about got it past Trace Alfin in the net. Look at this.
That's a knuckler. Great save by Trace Alfin to keep this at a 1-goal deficit. How about the boot on Hamill to make that happen? I mean, he sent that 2/3 of the pitch.
And Kerr comes in. Scotty Taylor goes out. Interesting sub here. Just the way Taylor has created a lot of chaos for this Blue Devil team inside the 18. Blue Devils not satisfied with a 2-1 lead. They want more. And they'll get another chance here at this corner from the near flag.
Good to see Colin Thomas back into the game after he had to come off with some help from the trainer. So he replaces Sidney Paris. The other Kerr.
You feel kind of robbed too, though, Kyle, having Kojima go out like that, is just how he opened things up, and it was basically end-to-end action, especially that first, 20 minutes of the half. And the Deeks have tried to figure out another way without number 16. Kerr will deliver the in-swinger.
Oh, goodness. Colin Thomas got bulldozed. It wasn't really a foul. I mean, just the massive body of Camarnecito. He looks like Thomas ran into a brick wall.
12 fouls for Wake Forest, 9 for the Duke Blue Devils. Hernandez breaking loose, but good eye by Hamill to come off his line and squish that. So here's the question, Kyle. If you're Wake Forest, I mean, is there anything you can do offensively? They've been able to get some good looks. The only thing they can show for a goal is a PK.
I mean, I know that this isn't what you or Wake fans will be looking for, but just keep doing what you're doing. Offensively, they've been very good.
As Duke once again breaks through into the 18 and sliding his way close to the near post, meeting Trace Alfin. Ball goes out by Demon Deacon, and Duke, resilient, continuing to surge, not satisfied with just a 1-goal cushion. They feel that there is blood in the water. They want to continue to attack. They now have put up their shots to 10 on the match. Wake Forest with 13. Here's another corner, an in-swinger. Looking for number 24, Gudbjornsson, the 6'4", and number 24 makes it now a 3-1 Duke Blue Devil lead.
That has been coming all game, Ty. Every corner delivery has been exquisite. Right on the edge of the 6-yard box. Too far for Trace Alfin to come out, but close enough that they can put dangerous players in, and it has been Gudbjornsson every single time trying to latch onto that. Just flicks it inside the far post. No one can match his height, and set pieces tonight have been a boon for Duke, and potentially icing it here with a fantastic corner delivery.
Axel Gudbjornsson, his 3rd goal in the season in the 77th minute, which could be the dagger. But the Deacons have plenty of weapons. They're used to scoring. Baba Niang into the corner. Escorbano. Throw this in quickly. And he was going to try to sneak up there, wasn't he?
He got a good 15 yards before the officials said that's enough. He's doing it again.
Kennedy lays it up back to Escorbano. Forbes calls for it. And a tough ball. Kerr came up. Also have a Duke player down, which is Shaq Muhammad, or is hurt, limping, pardon me.
That would be such an enormous loss for Duke, and the sideline telling him to go down.
Which goes down right when, that's got to drive Coach Muse nuts, because it goes down right when you have a free kick in a dangerous spot. But Shaq seems to be all right. Got a knock. Rolled Mitchell will come in.
How about this? It's rolled Mitchell for Takuma Suzuki. This is Bobby Muse going
full on.
We're coming at you.
The frustrating part is you're ready to send this into the box and you have to wait for subs to get in. Hernandez, a dangerous left and right foot. We've said this many times. See if he whips this in on the far stick and see if he goes for number 32. Garrison Tubbs. Here it comes.
Too much on it.
Forbes, Hernandez to his left. Forbes off balance, just trying to send that in for Rolled Mitchell. And they get a look. Under 12 to go. The Duke Blue Devils eyeing an upset. They lead 3-1. Long ball.
Oh, well, Lent wasn't ready for that. Forbes pulled out the nutmeg.
Oh, good turn. Kennedy. Good
poke. Masalis there again. Corner for the Deeks. Duke scored on their last corner.
You feel like against this defense, it's not going to be one of those couple touches inside the box. It's got to be bang, bang.
And the Deeks certainly don't have a height advantage here. See what they pull out.
Corner, bending. Here's a header. Rolled Mitchell in the air right at the 6. Rolled Mitchell getting on a ladder.
Yeah, he attacked that real well. Give Peter Stroud a lot of credit. He was right in there too.
So the Deacons will do it again from the far corner. 10 minutes to get back 2 goals. And it goes in! A flick on! And the Deacons are 1 goal shy of tying this up at 3.
That's Baba Niang. How did he get on that? Oh my goodness. He was miles away from a tight angle. I don't know how he managed to get the pinpoint accuracy to touch that inside the far post. Oh, perfect header.
Let's see that again.
Oh, that's an own goal. That's an own goal.
Off the back of the head.
I think that's Verratti.
I think it was,
is it 15?
Or it was Thomas.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's why
Luke Thomas.
That's why it confused me, because unless he really is a magician, I don't know how he was able to flick that on like that. The answer is it was an own goal. So now the Deacons, with some momentum, they can feel it, or they could possibly tie it up. 10 minutes will quickly get by them in a hurry, especially against a Blue Devil team that is this talented. Wall in. Kennedy. Kennedy just looked up for one brief moment, and Duke Blue Devils come out with it. Here's Daly. Daly. Thomas, or Kennedy, going up against Daly, and will get the card.
And that's what we call a professional foul there, because Julian Kennedy knew that there was a lot of danger that could have come from Daly piercing into the attacking third there. He's a reserve striker. He'll absorb that yellow card all day long to keep that from happening.
Going into Tuesday's match, Duke has only allowed 2 goals. Yale got 1, and the Deacons have 2 on them in this one. They're going to need 1 more, though, and hold the Blue Devils to just that 3. If they want to get some kind of result from this, as the clock is stopped. And Duke will figure out what they're going to do on another set piece, which, yes, watch out for the 6'4" target. High in the air, Alphen backs up, makes the catch like a wide receiver. Quickly wants to get into the play.
That was a heat seeker, Ty. I don't think he meant to do that, but that ball was a seed headed for the top left corner. Trace had it covered, no problem, but any fumble or error there from Trace, and that ball was headed into the back of the net.
Oh, deflected ball that the Deacons are arguing that's a handball.
Great tackle. Escribano coming back.
A lot of offensive weapons. That ball was sent. Earl Mitchell timed his run. He got back, or got behind the back line after it was already served. Throw in awarded to the Duke Blue Devils here. With about 8:20 remaining. 3-2. Our first half ended with no goals. The second half, totally different. 5 goals between both of these clubs.
Deke's playing with such high energy right now, but it's not panic. They've shown that all year long. This team does not panic. They're able to turn up the dial without hitting that big red button.
Oh, Kennedy tried to dummy that to make the turn and just about did so, but this back line for Duke is well seasoned. Hernandez slots it down. Here's Roll Mitchell. Mitchell, extra touch with the left. Will try to get it back, gets clipped up. Referee says play on. The fans don't like it. And Ponza, half volley to Beam. Just one extra touch as Mitchell.
I tell you what, Ty, I think Roll Mitchell did a fabulous job there and just got unlucky that the defender had his leg in the right place, because it was a brilliant turn.
Mitchell, here comes Wallet. Flag stays down. Wallet sends it. It's out of bounds. It'll be a corner. That was the right ball to play, the diagonal ball. The Deacons want to quickly get this into play. They do. Here's Hernandez. Hernandez with a left foot, hooks it. This is not exactly off the foot correctly. Forbes with a great slide tackle and then a good look. But right in the direction of Hamill. And the clock now goes to 6 minutes remaining.
This
The
is
Spry
a
faithful up.
relentless attack from Wake Forest. They continue to pour on the pressure. Excellent skill. Just can't find the back of the net because this Duke Blue Devil defense and goalkeeper are playing out of their minds. They are one of the best in the country and showing why. They're in the right place at the right time every single time.
Five and a half for the Deacons to draw the third goal and tie this thing. As they continue to inch closer to the attacking third. Here's Thomas. Outside of his foot, plays it back to Mpanza. Here's Hernandez. Hernandez lifts it high. Escorbano. Kennedy. Oh, a missile. But look at the goalkeeping by Hamill. Outstanding. He sniffed that one out.
Yeah, not only did Hamill make a great stop there, but he was positioned perfectly. Positioning is one of the toughest things to learn as a goalkeeper, and a seasoned veteran here. Hamill is in perfect place to stop at the near post or cover his far post.
Four and a half. Blue Devils trying to hang on as the storm surge by this Wake Forest attack is at 10. Frederick just able to get that one on his left foot because you saw Forbes hoping for a mistake.
Blue Devil defense in safety first mode at the moment.
Shack back in.
That's a huge boost.
Carino comes back in, so you've got essentially, what, 3 number 9s?
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
Mitchell, Kennedy, and Garino all
In the angle, you could say.
strikers. Well, yeah, I wouldn't call him a number 9, but certainly an attacking presence.
Oh, good ball that's just curling, looking for Garino. As Escorbano comes up, meets it. Going up against Periano. Is able to send it. And rolled Mitchell up high, heading it down, but just not the pace he wanted. And it is smashed down by the hands of Hamill.
Brilliant ball in. I don't know how Escorbano got that off and somehow able to keep that in front of him. Hamill, wonderful defense by Gudbjornsson. His 6'4" frame again coming in handy. These two teams leaving it all on the field, Ty. This is a heavyweight bout.
Taylor, I don't know how, but Stroud found him. And Taylor, who has been a headache for the back line of this Wake Forest Demon Deacon team, just has a knack for smelling where the ball is going to go.
Yeah, and a great save here by Trace Alfin, too, because one-on-one, he was in trouble, but closed down the danger. You're right. Scotty Taylor has been fantastic, and Duke using as much time as they can here on this corner. And they're just going to keep it right there in the corner flag and make Wake come and get it.
If a match could describe the competitive nature of this conference, it would have to be this one. And just how hard fought this has been. You see jerseys dirty, jerseys torn. Both teams still playing from whistle to whistle. Quickly, Alfred scoops it up the grounder. Now we'll move it to the right. 2 minutes. Solid defending. I think Kennedy thought it was going to get to his foot.
Well,
Stroud goes down.
This is peak CONCACAF here from Duke, and why not? You're up 3-2 in a 1v4 ACC hard knocks battle, and they are taking every advantage here. Julian Kennedy struggling a bit.
So Kennedy goes down. Looks to be all right. Checked on by the trainer. Looks to be just fine. Finally, they bring in Chase Oliver. It was a spark plug and can widen the field, to say the least. He'll come in with a $140 left to go. Can Chase Oliver be a super sub and find the equalizer? Time getting away.
He's going to go right to the corner flag here.
That he does.
And expertly so.
Deacons eyeing the clock, 1:20. 5 goals here in the second half between both clubs. And we went into intermission 0-0. Garrison. Tubbs just able to release it. Niang.
And he's going forward. Everybody forward for the Deeks now.
Niang wanted to probe that one for a through ball. Niang, 1 minute left. Niang. Niang with a shot! Oh, it just hit the post, my goodness! A magical foot that just about got off the fingernails of Hamill to tie this thing up.
All I can say, Ty, is the thin margins in this game are on display right there. Can you imagine if that was the equalizer with a minute to go? My goodness, what a rip. The Deeks leaving it all out on the field tonight. Both teams are.
16 seconds. Garino. The Deacons are going to have to quickly get this down the field with 10 seconds. Sends a long one. And the Deacons will go down in an upset for the Duke Blue Devils, upsetting #1 and ending the streak at 13. A heated rival between the two, a Tobacco Road derby, as well as a Big Four derby, and the Blue Devils' first win over a #1 team since 2014. How close were we from making this thing 3-3?
Baba Niang just turns and rips, and look at the save by Hamill, the 5th-year senior, saving it onto the post. Just unbelievable. What an effort by Niang.